Hello, my name is Peter, and today we are going to look at Jacob's journey. Jacob was born about 1,800 years before Jesus and is one of the main historic patriarchs of Israel, as Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob are frequently mentioned. And like Abraham and Isaac, he lived a nomadic life, and in his later years, he was given a new name of Israel, one that is then given to God's chosen people as well. But it certainly didn't start very well for Jacob, and basically went downhill from there on in. Jacob was part of a family who was in conflict right from the very start, from the day he was born, literally. As he came out of his mother's womb, he was holding on to the foot of his twin brother Esau. Indeed, the name Jacob means he grasps the heel, which is a Hebrew idiom for a deceiver. And the story of Jacob's early life involves birthrights, eavesdropping, hunting, making stew, attaching goat's skin to your arms and neck, and putting on your brother's smelly clothes. Genesis 25 and 27. And from there, it's really, you can see that it's a tragic picture of a family at war with itself. Lies, deception, favoritism, manipulation, and division. It might not be out of place in one of today's soap operas, for example. But what is remarkable is that God still blessed and made promises to Jacob and his family, even though he knew exactly what they were like behind closed doors. Then later on in Jacob's life, God continues to bless him, as he had said he would bless Abraham and Isaac, and in particular with a promise about his descendants. In Genesis 28, Jacob has a dream in which he sees a stairway from earth to heaven with angels ascending and descending, and God Almighty at the top of the stairway. In the dream, God declares to Jacob, "All peoples on earth will be blessed through you and your offspring." And 1,800 years later, God delivered on his promise concerning Jacob's offspring with the birth of Jesus. So I think Jacob's journey in life can be seen not just as a physical wandering around the desert, escaping his brother, but a journey of inner change, from starting out relying on deception, on his own cunning and wits, and using whatever means, good or bad, to achieve his purpose, to ending up relying on God to fulfill God's promises for himself, his family, and his descendants. Jacob, like us, has had to learn to trust God, whereas his descendant Jesus trusted his father right from the start. So my question is, have we learned to trust God and his faithfulness and love? Do we rely on our own resources and abilities to get on in life? Or have we said, like Jesus, "Not my will, but yours be done"? So when it's Jacob's turn to give his blessing to his own sons, all 12 of them, Jacob has learned from his family's earlier mistakes. And in this part character analysis, part prophecy, Jacob has learnt the value of honesty, not to steal other people's blessing, but to give meaningful blessing to others. And each of his sons gets an appropriate blessing. The big surprise, perhaps, is that the blessing which points towards the family's royal, all-powerful descendant, Jesus, is not the blessing of the oldest son, Reuben, nor indeed the most famous son, Joseph, but the fourth, somewhat overlooked son called Judah. Just as a quick note, Judah is the one who, you might remember, is prepared to offer his life as a ransom for his brother Benjamin when they go off down to Egypt. So Judah, to some extent, is a forerunner, if you like, of Christ. Jacob's blessing for Judah is found in Genesis 49 and includes these lines: "You are a lion's cub, Judah. You return from the prey, my son. Like a lion, he crouches and lies down. Like a lioness, who dares to rouse him? The scepter will not depart from Judah, nor the staff from between his feet, until he whom it belongs shall come, and the obedience of the nations shall be his. Just to pick out a couple of things. First of all, the lion cub Judah. This description of Judah as a lion is the very one used in heaven to describe Jesus. In Revelation 5, one of the elders in heaven is saying to John, "Do not weep. See, the Lion of the tribe of Judah, the Root of David, has triumphed." And secondly, the scepter will not depart from Judah. In other words, the authority of the tribe of Judah will remain, and ruling the nation will remain until he to whom it belongs shall come, and the obedience of the nation shall be his. Jesus from the tribe of Judah is the rightful king forever. So for ourselves, are we ready to honor Jesus in the way we live our lives? Are we weeping and afraid in the face of apparent rule of darkness and pain? Or are we confident of Jesus' great power and kingly authority and his eternal kingdom? Do we choose to trust in God's promises, whatever the circumstances? And do we believe the promises that concerned God's Son, Jesus? So you can see that Jacob forms a key part of the history of the Israelites, establishing the house of Jacob and the rule of the tribe of Judah, foretelling the arrival of Jesus. Not a bad journey.